This is the Simpit. I'm your host, Shaun Cole, but the real star of today's show is you, the pit crew, for being here on a Hump Day Wednesday edition of the Pitstop. Thank you for being here to hang out, talk about sim racing. That is right, Bud Gee. That is right. Forgive the late start, and there's only one person to blame. There's no way for me to know if YouTube just randomly chose to change the streaming key once again. So every once in a while, YouTube, with no warning whatsoever, changes your streaming key. So then you hit go and nothing happens, and you're left wondering what's gone wrong. And when you're running a variety of different software and computers and connections and all that, it's a little confusing. Anyway, YouTube changed the stream key. God forbid they'd flash something on your screen saying, hey, we've changed your streaming key. Nope. And lucky I had a clue what was going on, and I was fairly quick to change it. So forgive the late entry. F you to YouTube. Once again, here we are on YouTube. God bless YouTube for being there and letting us be here. However, F you for being for such a huge company with so much money, and making money off of all of us, the treatment I feel we get as streamers or content providers on YouTube is really pretty lame. Billy, so you've just gotten in the habit of changing it every time just to make sure. I don't have a problem with them doing it. It's a security issue. That's awesome, but flash something. Send me an email. Act like I am important to you, YouTube. It kind of sucks when you think you're going on at 9 and you don't. Joe doesn't want to hear any of my stupid excuses. He just wants to know what I'm going to do to guarantee that I won't be late again. I don't have an answer for you right now, but I will get back to you on that, Joa. Add it to my checklist. That's what I need. A longer checklist. Apparently I do, Theodore. How are you all doing? How are you all doing with the Esport takeover? I have to admit, so I complain that the companies aren't doing many updates. So if it weren't for Esport, for the most part, this show would be about 10-15 minutes long right now, with what's going on. If you removed Esport from our topics, you would have a 10 to 15 minute show. And the reason for that is, with people being shut in their homes, companies are not producing products. They're certainly not expanding into new products, the things that we would cover on this show. So it's a good thing on one hand that we have it, or we'd have nothing to talk about. It would be kind of slow times. Well, let me take that back. It'd be slow times in sim racing, but I have to say, with or without the esport explosion of the pros running it, just who is esport? You know, that esport guy. And why don't we call it e-motorsport? Just out of curiosity. Esport is a word used by guys who play Call of Duty. I like e-motorsport. So, without the explosion of the pros running e-motorsport, we would still be having a good growth curve of a certain extent. Maybe not so much growth as much of a different enthusiasm, with more people wanting to race because they're stuck at home. So I think we would have had a growth. We would have seen more activity in sim racing with or without what's going on. Again, my next concern, being semi-pessimistic on things, is that they're going to flip the light switch. So now I know most racing seasons have been canceled through the end of May. I think that's pretty safe. June maybe will be like let's just take a little more time. Needless segmentation. What do you mean by that? And then let's say July, we could actually see things come back in certain levels in July, at which point none of this will continue going on. I don't know if, I think they've gone up very, very, very slightly. I would almost say unmeasurably, but maybe. Yeah, I don't know if we are setting any new records here as a result of this. Yeah, but Devin, at the same time, they kept us in a dark little corner, a back room for so long. Why don't we stand on our own? I mean, right now, I dare say that the e-motorsport world carries more clout than the regular esport world. It's like California versus the USA. I agree with you, John. New host. Randall hosting us, brought his buddies with him. Thank you, Randall. Thanks for dropping in. All right, let's talk about the news. Let's talk about what's going on in sim racing. We can keep this conversation going. But April 7th through 9th, Schaefer Oil's Spring Fling features a $14,000 purse. So this actually kicked off yesterday. 180 of the world's top dirt late model racers. Blah blah. 14,000 on the world there, on the line there. Here are the Spring Fling Oil Spring Fling winners. I'm assuming this is real life. No, Tyler Hudson. Yeah, Tyler. Rant hat? No, we're not quite. We're not quite to the rant level. Yeah, who knows what they're gonna do with 2020 in general. I mean, and I wonder what's gonna change in terms of the esports scene coming off of the pro invasion, how that will impact the existing Esport series that exist. Very true, Joa. There is still some drama, though. It's not always about the thrill and danger. There is some drama and some heated battles, but I agree with you. I think one of the big polls for real-life racing has been the danger aspect. Yeah, I really, I mean, on getting back to Devin's point there, yes, I see where you're coming from. It's really not that big a deal. I'm not too hell-bent on them changing it to e-motorsport, but I would dare say that those other things should not be called e-sport. We could get in a whole argument now into what even defines a sport. I think when I was younger, I would argue, and this is when I was a kid, like child, right, playing soccer and things. I would argue that, oh, golf's not a sport. You don't even sweat. You don't, whatever. And then I grew up and played golf, and I'm like, wow, this is like one of the most precision things. Sure, it's a sport, but how do you define sport? And then other people would argue if auto racing was a sport because, well, look at those. Back when I was a kid, those guys still smoked in the car. I thought there was a certain element of conditioning but then it's like, well, wait, what about curling? Yeah, darts, is that a sport or a game? Chess is a sport. Well, shoot, here in America, they put the kids spelling bee on ESPN. So, I don't know if it's fair to even try to put things into those kind of categories and then leave other things out. I'll give you the greatest example I can give you on when you start trying to include and exclude things from lists, including the word esport, by the way. My brother works for a housing company, and if he puts a memo out, this is Southern California, keep in mind, very heavy Hispanic population in Southern California. So, if my brother puts a notice out to the building in English, that's one thing. If he tries to put it in English and Spanish, all of a sudden he runs into problems because now he's excluded all the other languages of the world. So if there's somebody in the building who happens to speak a language that's not one of those two, then is determined to wonder why they weren't included in the multi-language version. So much simpler to keep it as a single item. Anyway, but yeah, I don't know. I'm not here to determine what is or isn't a sport. If you add certain sports, then you have to then include chess, because maybe some of the same reasoning behind it. Spanglish, yes. Spanglish is spoken in Southern California. Anything that has a competition. All right, go. I don't disagree with that. I do not at all, not one bit. All right, well, no argument from me that sim racing is a sport, but you could argue it. You certainly could. People could. You'd have to entertain the argument. Semmelman's sweep. Top 2 spots in iRacing World of Outlaws action from Fairbury. It was a family affair at the front of the field Monday night iRacing World of Outlaws NOS Energy Sprint Car World Championship from Fairbury American Legion Speedway as brothers Dylan and Austin Semmelman scored the top 2 spots on the 35-lap feature. That's pretty badass. Well done. My brother and I used to race together. Those were the good old days. Is Shaun a good sport? I can be a good sport. And I can be a bad sport at times as well. I think I'm usually a good sport, but I have my moments. So congratulations on the brothers kicking ass. I remember back when we used to run ASRL, American Sim Racing League, back in the day. Stephen Dager, are you here by chance? Anyway, and Ratliff. Was it the Ratliff brothers? There was a couple of sets of brothers who ran in that league with my brother, Greg, and I. Yes. Oh, Greg. My brother and I were a team back in the day. Cole Bros Racing. And we used to take on the Ratliff brothers, and there was another... a set of brothers out there too. It was always fun to have the brotherly rivalries as well. Norman, thank you. I'm not always a good sport though. I'm human, you know. I try to be, but I've lost my mind a few times. Hey, Thunder Motorsports, how you doing? Subaru IRX All-Star Invitational presented by Yokohama to launch on Friday. A 6-race series. Are these? How much are we getting to the Johnny come lately? You know, you're gonna have a company announce another Esport series like 2 days before they throw the light switch and turn all this off. That'll be funny too. Or I love when they're doing like these series, and then at some point someone will commit to a period of time too long. Anyway, 6-race series will be at Hell Lunk. Bonnen, the biggest slut in rallycross tracks, Daytona International Speedway, Sonoma, Lucas Oil, Atlanta, and back to Hell. Race room is down for maintenance and an update. Thank you for that, Jason. Sport, an activity involving physical exertion and skill in which an individual or team competes against another or others for entertainment. Interesting. For the hell, we need the disclaimer for the hell. The Malachi brothers, Bucho. Happy days. Racing 393. I push and push and push. And I guess Mitchie Hoyer is part of the pit crew, and Mitchie Hoyer is doing very well in one of the R Factor. Hell is a place, and we're kind of living in it. Anyway, starting April 10th, the world's top rallycross drivers and a host of crossover all-stars from NASCAR, IndyCar, and NHRA, and more will do battle on iRacing in the Subaru IRX All-Star Invitational presented by Yokohama. I heard that Dale Earnhardt Jr. and Jimmy Johnson are both going to run that. I'm kidding. I didn't hear that. I'm kidding. They just seem to run everything there is. Street UK has subscribed. Thank you, Street UK. Welcome to the team. The Malachi Crunch. Every time we played Wreckfest, I would think of the Malachi Crunch and the Malachi Brothers. Well, I'm sure it won't be very long, Norman. It usually just takes a few hours, so it could be for the better. Anyway, stars that they're expecting: Travis Pastrana, Scott Speed, Andreas Bakkerud, Ron Capps, Justin Lofton, Chad Reed, Alexander Rossi are signed on for this one. Exactly. That's kind of why I joked about that, Brad. Yes, I think I have that in my stories for today. Anyway, so we have more. Here's a full list of invitees. Blake Bilko Williams, the Nitro Circus and U.S. Rallycross. Oh, no way. All right, we're going to talk about Mitchie. We'll have to go push everybody to go get him 40 more subs. Sim Contender, that would help. Maybe I should take on that role. Chris Atkinson, we already went through the top names there. Connor Daly, Mitchell DeJong. Uh-oh. Mitchell DeJong, nobody has a chance. I don't care who they throw at him. Nobody's going to beat Mitchell DeJong in Rallycross, especially a bunch of real-life drivers. Tanner Faust, Vaughn Gittin, Colton Herda, James Hinchcliffe, Parker Kligerman, Justin Laughlin, Connor Amardo. You know what I'm seeing on this list? Because I see a lot of names who have been in other events. Real-life racers are bored out of their minds right now. They are so bored. They will do anything that involves a steering wheel because they're racers at heart, no different than you and I. And they're stuck at home and can't go to work. So screw it. I'm going to sim race. That's awesome. Racing 393. So one of the great things that I have seen come of what's going on with the Esport Series is we watched that one race where they literally had 30 webcams that they could go to, showing almost all the drivers, if not all of the drivers who were in the event. That is the first step towards us having villains and characters. And it's one thing that I think that we can actually do better than real life racing, because real life racing, the drivers are getting further and further removed from the public. You know, it's a lot harder to go meet and greet drivers than it used to be back in the days. Well, now you can actually, and then if we do have an interior car camera during the race, they're in a helmet. You can't even see them. There's no emotion. You just see a head, and you identify the paint scheme. Now, adding the webcams, yes, to these events, you get to start to see the reactions. You get to see the guys who maybe hand gesture their competitors. You get to see the guys who show their emotions in their face when they're racing. You get to see them sweat. You get, so you get to hear them scream. I'm sure that most people will try to be on their best behavior, but we're going to start to see more and more personalities in this. And I think that's a huge advantage that we have over real life racing, and something that we can take away from some of the footage and coverage we've seen from the pro series that are out there. So good luck to everybody against Mitchell DeJong. You don't have a chance. Let's see here. This is iRacing Twitter replacement driver lineup. That was for yesterday's race. This was that 7-race series short track challenge. That was what was on yesterday at Lucas Oil Raceway. I watched a little bit of it, but I was actually filming, so I had it on muted in the background and couldn't really see it very well. What else? We talked about the World of Outlaws. Ty Majeski won the Myrtle Beach replacement race that went on yesterday. There you go. And it's a little funny. Whose rig is this? This is posted at iRacing. Yeah, Dave Blair, that was a really cool event. You turn off Will Powers' mic. All right, what else? Moving right along. I just got super duper hungry. Speaking of Mitchy Hoyer, so our friend Mitchy Hoyer, friend of the show, Mitchy Hoyer on YouTube, he has been one of the better competitors in the GT Challenge Series. So, he has not won a race yet. However, check this out. R-Factor GT Challenge Series Season 1, Round 3 standings. Look at Mitchy Hoyer coming in 143, 143, 129, having 415 points solidly in second place. So, congratulations. Go check out Mitchy Hoyer on YouTube. Get him 40 subs. Let's get him over that 3,000. You gave me that toilet seat. I just saw it on the Twitter. Thank you for sending it. Motion rig. I missed that. Best rig setup ever. Do I think motion sims make me faster? No. No. No, I really don't. I think that they add realism to an extent. They add immersion. They're certainly a lot of fun, but I don't believe they make me fasters. Wankers, you're all wanking this week. Hey, Zero. Oh, that's great to know. No, we didn't. Zero bandwidth coming in with a news story. Sim Racing Systems, you guys know SRS. We've run various series over there at SRS in Assetto Corsa. They have just opened up their test season for Assetto Corsa Competizione. So if you own ACC and you're looking for something to do with it, that's the big joke. I bought a sim, now what do I do with it? Racing 393, I gotta get back to that. I really do. I've been meaning to. I've just been kind of missing. Did I swear? Did I swear? I didn't swear. Hendo! How you doing, Grant? Yeah, Rick, that's a really good point. Yeah, motion rules. I have no issue with it, but the question, if you just straight up ask me if it makes me faster, I'll tell you why it doesn't make me faster. The motion is going to make it harder for me to be as precise with the steering wheel. I think that if you could remove a lot of the effects of motion from real life racing, drivers would be even better at driving. Now, you need a certain amount to drive by that seat of the pants, sure. Yeah, I don't know if the precision takeaway, and the other is like it moves my heel. Here's my real thought on motion also. No matter what motion system you're going to put me in, first thing I'm going to do is turn all of my settings down to half, maybe even a third of what default by most sim companies would give you, at which point it's going to be less distraction. You could then make the argument that it gives you some seat of the pants. One effect that the motion, there are a couple of things that motion does really well and a few things it does really poorly in my mind. And this is almost a blanket statement on the theory of motion. I've noticed that on the ones that have slip angle without very much seat movement, if you have too much seat movement, you're not going to feel it. If you have a slip angle, you can feel the car stepping out. If you've really dialed in the seat movement to that slip angle, it can help you detect that because sometimes the force feedback delivery doesn't do it quickly. That's one thing I think. The other area that I think that motion can do very, very well is under braking. Brake lockup, the power of your braking, the sensation of braking is just really, really awesome and can really be a big help. Yeah, and exactly. I think you need the motion part, Billy. It's the vibration and hits that are unfortunate. I agree with you 100%. Because I think the motion is part of what you needed for the seat of the pants feel, and in my opinion, makes real life racing or driving easier than sim racing. And I just don't feel that motion systems have fully captured that, and I don't think they can without G forces. Yeah, upshifts and downshifts, they're awesome. You can achieve a fair amount of that with a butt kicker as well, though. Okay, so the perfect rig. Like, if I were to, if I had unlimited money and unlimited space, so the studio is huge and I could do whatever I want, I would have a motion sim. And I would probably throw almost everything at it that you possibly could throw at it. So I would have a full motion sim, including slip angle. I would also have a G seat. I would also have transducers, aka butt kickers, on it. I find that it's a symphony. And I've said this many a time, so forgive me if you've heard me say this before, but our sims are a symphony of parts. And if all you had was a wheel without force feedback, you'd have like the most basic, orchestra or band possible. You add force feedback to that, and how much does it really, really expand your immersion and your feeling and what you're getting at it? If you have a seat mover, you should wear a seat belt. If you're not in a seat mover, I don't know if I need the added realism of being trapped in my seat. So anyway, the reason I'm getting at is having all these parts is there are things that the G seat does that no motion sim has ever done for me. And there are things that it does not as well as a motion system. So the perfect thing was putting the two together, letting one do what it does best and letting the other. Give you another example. A motion system can give you really, really good vibration feeling. A debug, we're working on a debox here, Hendo. It's actually in the works. Anyway, a butt kicker can do things better than even a motion sim can when it comes to certain effects. So instead of making my motion sim try to do these jittery effects, no, throw a butt kicker on it. So by the time you get all of these parts together and get them dialed in doing exactly what they do best, then you end up with something that I drive, whether it made me faster or not. Yeah, and then top times are also arguable. I mean, I was running in VR the other day, and I'm like, wow. At moments, the VR allows me to do certain things better, and at moments, it doesn't. Now, I can't switch back and forth from VR to fixed monitors to capture the both. But yeah. All right, here's the BMW Sim M2 CS Racing Cup 2020 Round 4. Friends Snowboarding, how you doing? Welcome to the show. Thank you for joining the team. Some big names here. I'd have to put this up, and then I'd cover the names. But I've had this up for a while. That is a who's who list of sim racers right there, just so you know. Some of the best drivers on Earth. I see friends of the show like Jack Keatley. I see the who's who guys we know every day. Igor Fraga. Yeah, my rig pizza. Kudaman, I swear, you add a butt kicker to your rig and you run it on software. So don't just use the audio hookup, but run SimHub or SimVibe or whatever your preference there. I like SimVibe because it's pretty simple, especially if you're using a SimXperience wheel, so you're already in there. But yeah, a butt kicker is about the least expensive upgrade you can do to your rig that you're going to just love the most. I just remember like 10 years ago when I first tried a butt kicker, it was the kind of thing you'd run it with a butt kicker for an hour and then walk away and come back and turn off the butt kicker, and you'd be like, who turned off my sim? It's almost like having a motion sim to an extent. Yeah, but depending on how big, if you really, really do it a lot, that's the other thing you'll find about motion sims. Driving them for one time, 3 times, or an hour is one thing. Driving them for extended periods of time, you start to see more of the details that are good and bad. We are staying very safe, RG. Thanks for the same for you. I hope the same for you and everybody out there, by the way. I don't think I've said that today. I was at the market. Well, 2 times ago, I was at the market and I tried to tip the checkout lady, and she wouldn't take it, said they're not allowed to. And I'm like, well, what you guys are doing is just amazing because you're like here. And if you weren't, I don't know what I'd be doing for food. I really don't. Eating MREs given to me by the National Guard, I don't know. But I'm eating food because those people are at work, and the truck drivers and the warehouse workers and all the people that make that happen. Anyway, I want to thank all those people. I went to the market yesterday, by the way. It was a piece of cake. Everything was almost like back to normal. I was able to buy toilet paper, paper towels, eggs, milk, all the things that have been most difficult. Got it all. Anyway, I also hope the best for all of you out there. I hope everybody's staying safe, doing the right thing. Just watch out for yourselves. Be careful, be safe, and get through this, because it'd be nice to have everything get back to normal. I think everybody has been impacted. It's just a matter of to what level and what degree. Grant, 2 years in, can't run without it. Yes. Those amps go dead. It's probably a dying amp, or the butt kicker might be taking too much energy, John. You can isolate the rig, but they are noisy, Brian, for sure. You can turn it down, though. Sim Contender asks, how long am I actually sim racing these days? Not nearly enough, Sim Contender. I'm probably only racing a matter of hours a week. But like yesterday, I was in that FGT light cockpit all day filming. So sometimes I'm in rigs doing stuff more often than I'm actually getting to race. It's funny you say that, because I was going to put a live stream up saying, F you, I'm racing. And I mean F you, but it's like, man, I just feel like sometimes I don't get to race because I'm too busy doing the other things. And then by the time it's the end of the day, I want to hang out with my brother and watch movies like everybody else, not jump into a sim rig again. The G seat is one of my favorites, and I took it off my rig because it just was terrible for streaming. It was ruining my streams. It was very, very loud. I loved it. I ran in headphones, so it didn't bother me. Friends, I am on a Lemons team, a Lucky Dog team, whatever you want to say. But our whole season's pretty much been canceled. This is the AVDS, Advanced Vehicle Driving Simulator, for Williams F1. I'm going to get me one of these. That's pretty badass. Thanks for that link. All right, what else? Dirt's been down, I guess. Progress is being made. We're seeing the majority of players connect to servers. If your account is showing 0 credits, these are not lost and will appear when you next connect. We're still making improvements, and we'll keep you updated on Dirt channels. All All right, Contender, have a good one, bud. What else? And then there was still more on that. We're continuing to see players having trouble. 5 hours ago. Let's refresh if they figured it out yet. They're working on it. Nope, 5 hours was the last one. So our support team has been working on various settings and fixes to restore full access. And they're going to be working on it throughout the day. There you go. Leclerc. He won, remember? All right, so now we have a little reaction from Charles Leclerc after winning the big event.
Having you here tonight, a lot of support, a lot of viewers, and yeah, first win of the season with hard times for everyone, and then the idea came up to just go on Twitch with some of the other F1 drivers to be able to entertain you as much as we can from where we are and considering the situation. And I'll try to end this Twitch. We're gonna stop the F1 game music first, close window, done, no music. That's a good starting point. And I've been working on that for 3 hours this afternoon, but it's not working. Guys, I'm not sure if it will work, but I press end stream. 3, 2, 1. I don't even know whether I'm still live or not. There's one button to click, I click it, but nothing happens. So, Control, Alt, Cancel, Task Manager, Twitch Studio. Bye-bye. It was great having you here tonight. A lot of support, a lot of viewers.
Too funny. Grid still promoting their thing, Season 3, so looks like you need a bit more help with this one. Okay. You excited? Grid, Season 3? I've had none of you tell me I need to get out there and do Grid. I've driven it a little bit, by the way. Working down at CXC, I've driven it a little bit. But I've not had anybody tell me, oh, you really got to give Grid more time. This is kind of a weird one. Codemasters. 3 incredible tracks in Codemasters games, but you can only pick one to race for the rest of your life. And so it's Monte Carlo from Dirt Rally 2.0, which I thought that was such an odd choice. Or Singapore F1 2019 or Paris from Grid. Here's Paris from Grid. There's the F1 2019, and there's Monaco. Anyway, I just thought, how weird. Anyway, this is their big poll. If you can only race one of those. Also, if you are bored out of your mind, they are having a little painting competition for Dirt Rally. You can download this, print it, paint it with crayons, and then post it back up to them. So there you go. Or have your kids do it. Styling within the lines is not only good racing strategy, it's a good coloring strategy too. Print these off, grab the crayons, and show us your Cody's coloring book pics. So, have your kids do it. Send it in here. We'll put them on the show. That's kind of how I feel. Suizo. Is that how, did I say that right? Even close? All right, what else? Oh, check this out. So, Forza Motorsport posted this. I've actually done this tour. So, Forza Motorsport. What better way to spend the day than a museum tour? The Peterson Museum will be hosting virtual tours of its vault and amazing vehicles. Check out the first show live now on mixer.com. Forza. So, Peterson Automotive Museum in Los Angeles is a pretty good museum, and they have a good inventory of cars, and then they have various different exhibits come in from other places that they'll feature for a period of time. And they also have a rotation of way more cars than they keep in their museum, so they have what they are called the vault, and you can actually schedule and book tours to go to the vault and get a small group tour of, well, right now you probably can't. That's why they're doing virtual versions. John Hill, have you done a vault tour? I've done a vault tour. I did it with my buddy Troy. But yeah, so here we go. I'm going to play just a little. We'll probably get demonetized. I don't even care. That's muted. Good. We won't get demonetized. So yeah, when you get down there, this is their like completely temperature-controlled, sealed storage area beneath the museum. And a lot of these cars aren't, the cool thing about Peterson is most of their cars are by donation, which means most of them have background stories. Come on. The Pope Mobile. I've seen this one. That's the Pope Mobile. Yes, the nether cut. So the guy behind a makeup company, I can't remember what it is, but it's the nether cut. I've done the private tour of that one too. Yes, the nether cut museum has a museum you can go to. They have I think they have a lot of Duesenbergs, which are amazing cars. Oh, in Oxnard. No, I haven't been to the one in Oxnard. The Nethercut is in the valley, not in Oxnard. I have not been to the Oxnard car museum. Anyway, so the Vault Tour could be entertaining for you guys if you guys are looking. Oh, look at that Pantera. You guys are, if you're looking for entertainment today, car entertainment, this is mixer.com Forza, and it's the Wheels and Pedal Wednesday. That doesn't sound right. Okay, there you go. That's cool stuff. Announcement, Gran Turismo. Announcement. We're very pleased to reveal Tiamat Marduk as this week's host of the FIA GTC Nations Cup Weekly. Subscribe to their YouTube channel to tune in tomorrow being today. Not sure what time. They didn't put a time there. Also here, we're going to come back to that topic, but Randall Haywood, Originals S14 is his name, on Share Your Rig.
Randall Haywood, also known as Originals 14, and I'm going to give you a quick tour of my GT rig. So I use an Eloquist gaming chair, a Thrustmaster TGT, and T3PA pedals.
Will do, Grant, for sure.
And a Acer monitor. This is my trophy collection, and this is the recent trophy that I've won from Sydney. I'd like to thank Gran Turismo for giving me the opportunity to show off my GT rig, and I'll see everyone online.
He needs a personality. He needs to liven himself up a little bit, I think. Okay, so here's our big invite. We're pumped to have.
I'll be jumping into the hot seat with Gran. Hey guys, it's Ben here, Tiamat Marduk. This week I'll be jumping into the hot seat with Gran Turismo's FIA Nations Cup round at Laguna Seca. Tune in to Gran Turismo's YouTube channel tonight at 8 PM to see the live stream and see how I get on. I'll see you there. Hey guys.
A little more excitement out of him, huh? Neonite, that sounds fun. I always love private events with car museums and things. Those are always fun. All right, Dave Blair, have a good one. David Grunell, welcome to the show. We have a little changing of the guard going on here. There'll be plenty of personalities back on sale at Walmart soon. Oh, that's funny. Leaderboards, the Rally Chili event. And there we are. There's Nexel. Race Clutch. Remember, this is that first group that formed on their team thing that they had going on, with them taking first and third. Nexel being in... All these names are familiar, by the way. That's the who's who of the WRC world for sure. And then they talk a little bit more about this junior WRC Esports shootout. Didn't think we'd let our crews stay at home without any competition, did you? More info at 1500. That was 6 hours ago. And here's... If they made a new post? Nope. So here's what we have so far for their big WRC shootout. I'm not going to say these names. I don't know them well enough to say them. Anyway, we have 2 drivers here picked. 1 driver there, 1 and more to come as they are rolling out their WRC And then March, that's old news. We don't need that. What else? D-Box, speaking of D-Box, before trying to set a fast lap, it's crucial to learn the ins and outs of the track you're trying to attack. Here is the TM Thrustmaster Esport team suggests you do it. YouTube, learning the track.
So one of the most important things when you're sim racing is to learn the track, whether it's for qualifying or for a race or just doing hot laps. First, you need to start out slow, do an out lap at a very slow pace, learn your braking points, learn your acceleration zones. You want to look for different reference points on the track.
All right, what else? That's it. This is cool. So, Ricmotech, the Lockdown Diaries is like a thing from Racer Magazine. We have a few articles from them today, funny enough. But they did a write-up here. The Lockdown Diaries, the sim racing equipment manufacturer. John Hill, you sent me this one, didn't you? So did Thawman. So did a few people, actually. But this is great to see. Disruption caused by COVID-19, blah, 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 within days being canceled. The globe, nearly every race series planning online events. As a result, drivers of all levels around the world are looking to be part of the hot ticket. So what does this mean for the business that sells this equipment? Traffic to our website doubled after that first NASCAR race aired on Fox Sports 1, says Frank Rico, the founder of Ricmotech Racing Simulators and reseller and manufacturer sim racing equipment based in Miami Lakes, Florida. Anyway, yes, so double the traffic coming off of that first event from a high-end boutique type company. That's not Thrustmaster, that's not Logitech or Fnatic, that's coming from Ricmotech, so that's great. Yeah, shoes, not socks. Very funny. Why bother? Yes, David, exactly. Why bother? We race to speed, right? Yeah, wouldn't that be great in VR? I agree. All right, so Dale Earnhardt, I can't even give you the whole article because we've exceeded our max for motorsport. Anyway, Dale Earnhardt Jr. to join IndyCar Esport field at Michigan. So Earnhardt's bored enough at home that he's going to run multiple series online. That's pretty cool. Earnhardt will show these guys, he'll do very well, by the way, just because he's jumping over to, don't think he can't run anything in sim racing. That guy's a long-time sim racer. Autosport, talking about Motorsport UK launching a new karting Esport series with Motorsport games. Again, every day we're talking about a new series. I am Groot. Yes, Bubba Wallace. Friends, snowboarding. I still haven't learned Silverstone entirely. Yeah, Junior's going to do well in that. Rseat and Marquez to reignite their rivalry in the second MotoGP Esports. So Rseat is going to be in the second one. Seven-time MotoGP World Champion Valentino Rossi will go up against 10 real-world rivals, including reigning champ Marc Marquez, in the second MotoGP stay-at-home GP Esport event on Sunday. There you go. Karting, yeah, I didn't cover that, did I? Where was that? Kart Sim. In association with Motorsport Games, Kart Sim, and Alpha Live, the UK motorsport governing body, Easter Series will act as the prelude to the first full season, which will follow shortly afterward. The third category. The Easter Series will feature 3 different categories, with 2 exclusively for Motorsport UK license holders aged 8 to 11 and 12 and above. The third category is open to all gamers and karters from around the world aged 12 and above. So I'm old enough. I actually think I finally do know Silverstone, but I sometimes forget to look at the indicators to remind me where I am at times. So it still tries to throw me for a loop every time. Super casual. I don't know if it'll replace the Skippy because of the popularity of the Skippy. But the normal for iRacing is to create new cars that make certain cars obsolete, and then to kind of stick them in the background. They'll no longer get a series, or no one will run in the series, and then it ends up on the free cars and doesn't get the same updates at times. But I don't know if the Skippy... A lot of people run the Skippy. There might be a revolt if they try to do anything to the Skippy. Yep, I agree, friends. Where is Kart Sim available? Yeah, Steam. Okay. What else? What else? Oh, this is kind of cool. Marcus Ericsson at home.
Made to order the stuff I need. Everything has arrived apart from one thing, which I hope should arrive today or tomorrow. So I'm gonna start to try and build it. Let's see here. So here is all the stuff. It's a lot of stuff for a simulator. Should be a bit of a project. Be fun though. Looking forward to it. Get it started. Get going.
I want that monitor.
Chocolate milk, of course. Yum, yum, yum. All these Rseat. Okay.
Hey! That's Felix Rosenquist.
Great success. Fan vad gött.
Hey, Raul. How you doing?
Hur är det för?
Anyway, you want to see some pros try to build a rig? That looks kind of amusing. You can check that out at Marcus Ericsson on YouTube. Next big events are coming up. So we are doing, they are actually broadcasting these events in both Italian and English. We're getting the English feed right to the Simpit on YouTube, the esportseries.net. This is the Assetto Corsa Competizione official GT World Challenge with 40 car grids. They put on some really cool events on our thing. The next event coming up is April 27th from Misano, Italy, with pre-qualifying April 17th through 21st. So you can look forward to that. Put that in your calendars. You'll be able to watch that on our show coming up. Darius, I built a P1 recently, and I pulled up Barry's vid, and I actually, it was like, man, you're going to have to talk faster or I'm going to have to build slower. No offense to Barry. I love Barry. I love what Barry does, but oh my God, I was totally just, way ahead. It's like, okay, come on, next step. But yes, if you're trying to build a P1, SimLab P1, their instructions from them are just worthless. So you are better off watching Barry's video. Just get ready to fast forward. Yeah, exactly. Watch it 2 times speed. There you go. But it's very thorough, so it's the best. I agree. Like I said, I've used it personally. Or like you said, everybody. He uses Barry Video like all SimLab owners, Darius. Anyway, okay, so making the best of COVID-19, the 24 hours do quarantine. Many of us are locked in self-isolation these days because of coronavirus, blah, blah. Lack of real life. Anyway, Peter and Isaac are 2 friends in the UK who got to know each other through sim racing. They both love endurance races, especially Le Mans. Like many of us these days, they have too much free time. Anyway, so they are creating this event, Circuit de Le Mans, on iRacing, April 11th. It's a 24-hour event with the Audi R18, Porsche 919 HPD, BMW M8, Ferrari GTE, Ford GTE, Porsche 991 RSR. You got to slow me down. Watch me at half speed. Oh, that's pretty funny. Too funny, Neo. That's very funny. 50 cars in the race, and you can check this out at rookieraceline.com if you're interested in maybe entering a team or watching it. What else? So The Drive posted this on March 25th, so a little dated, but still new. The Drive. I'm going to try and become a pro sim racer. Here's what it costs to get started. So let's see what they think it costs to become a pro. Hey, No Aim, how you doing? Blah, 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 blah. He's looking at... Yeah, he's talking about everything coming to a halt, blah, blah. I'll be looking to compete in several iRacing road racing series and more mainstream Forza Motorsport series as well. I mainly got this for you guys. If you're bored, I'm not going to read through the whole article. But it's them talking about the cost of trying to get in. Not just get in, but get into the level of, he's talking about computers, like computer suggestions and what you're going to need. But if you're like sitting at home and you're seeing one of these esport events for the first time, this is going to be one of those guides. Pretty long read, though. Do I need to slow it down? Do I need to slow it down just a little bit, you guys? Juan Pablo Montoya, ready to play in the dirt tomorrow night when he makes his World of Outlaws debut at the virtual Knoxville Raceway in this awesome Snap-on Tools sprint car. Tune in at 8 p.m. Eastern Time on Fox Sports 1 because you won't want to miss Racing Together World of Outlaws iRacing. So when was this posted? How come their posts don't have dates? Yeah, that was posted April 7th. So that would be tonight. Tomorrow night would be tonight. Don't hit the pace car. You need to speed it up now. Ratings are in for IndyCar iRacing Challenge NBC broadcast. You hear how I've changed my tempo so the tone or octave of my voice and even my California twang went away? Again, I read an article about why UK singers sound American when they sing. And the article had summarized that when you change your cadence, it's hard to maintain your normal tones. Anyway, I can't do my normal tone when I try to slow it down. The first NTT IndyCar iRacing Challenge event, broadcast live on NBC Sports Network cable channel, delivered an average audience of 165,000 people who viewed Team Penske's Scott McLaughlin drive the number 2 Chevy to virtual victory. So, them are approximately 40% of an average IndyCar audience. So that's the important number. It's not so much how many, I think. 165. It's that their normal would be 4 times that. Or no. I mean, a little over double that. Thank you, friends. Hurry the hell up. Yeah, and that's the thing. They're dividing the pie a lot. Anyway, I'm not gonna play the. I'll play it. I'm not gonna get into it. If you guys would like to hear more, remember we played some of the clips from Austin Oganowski on Monday's show. Some of the real life IndyCar, NASCAR drivers saying some less than favorable things about the sims they are driving. Yeah, I agree. That's a pretty solid number, no aim. Especially if you were to add up the extra streams for it. 40%? Okay, thank you, Billy. So it's about the same ratio as what NASCAR is getting. Looks like that's not nice. Be nice, people. Anyway, Austin Ognoski had played some of the clips of some of the drivers and their comments. Power Magica did a video saying iRacing is blowing it, where he kind of tapped into some of those thoughts, some of the things, talked about some of the broken tire model. And anyway, I'm not going to go into it. I'm going to leave this for you guys 100%. If you want to hear somebody who should maybe put on the rant hat, you can go check out Power Magica. I don't even know if he's good or bad, but a few people sent it in. So I figured, hey, if you guys think it's news, I'll play it for you. There you go. Okay, we're going to go away from that. You guys are not being kind. Snowrunner. Oh, I'm going to play this, though, even if we get demonetized. I'm going to have a sip of coffee and enjoy this.
Release on April 28th. We're very excited to share with you what's planned for the game's Season Pass. The Season Pass and the Premium Edition of Snowrunner will grant you access to a wealth of exciting new content for the season to come. That includes huge new maps, powerful new vehicles, and never-before-seen activities. All this new content will be delivered via the Season Pass 4 phases alongside free updates and extra content for all. The first phase will be available a few weeks after the release of the game. It will include an additional winter environment set in Russia, greatly expanding your playground with several new maps for your rides
Good
alone
point,
and with
Neonite.
your friends. Explore and brave the tundra to discover new missions, which include an exciting hunt for the lost wreckage of a World War II bomber. More vehicles and skins will also be added during this phase. Additionally, all players will receive extra content for free.
It seems like it's a more polished version of something very similar. No aim.
Phase 2 will add a brand new Canadian region, a first for the franchise. This new region will include several maps filled with very special missions. There, you will be leading the construction of a new settlement. Participate by delivering materials and tools to workers.
Joe, you are such a dick.
New buildings popping up in the heart of this hostile environment. More vehicles and skins will also be added during this phase, along with free updates, including new cargo types, modding features, and some surprises that we'll soon unveil. Phase 3 will invite you to Wisconsin.
Oh, this game looks so good to me. I'm really pumped up for this one.
You'll experience the classic franchise feel in a whole new light.
I hope it's good.
Reworked logging activity taking advantage of the massive improvements brought to Snowrunner. More vehicles and skins will be added during this third phase, along with even more free content such as another new activity, more vehicle add-ons, and new customization tools for all players. Finally, we will be concluding the season with an exciting expansion.
Is this the Russian?
We'll share more info about its content soon. We're excited for you to brave our giant
double
open
secret
world
content.
and enjoy all the content that we'll be bringing throughout the year.
Yeah, it seems grown up. It seems more polished, more complete. I always felt like the other ones were really great versions of the game, but there was something very indie feel about them. This might be more their mainstream version, perhaps. I don't know, but it sure does. The previous versions had in-car. Oh, I'm sure some of them are, John. But it wouldn't just be the Russian games. It would be across the board internationally. Oh, yeah, and it's not free. I missed that part. Snowrunner Season Pass and Premium Edition details and trailer. We already covered all that. You know, the best thing I ever heard about the internet and this covers everything. We don't even have to point fingers at countries. If it's free, then you are the product, not the game. You. So if you're getting something for free in the world of the internet, you are their actual product. DrivingItalia.net talking about the Euro Truck Simulator Update 1.37 available in beta. So update for that. I saw somebody just on my list the other day playing truck. Yeah, Russia wants to spy on me. Roadshow. Einride shows off its remote operator trucks in new video. The electric driverless truck startup has been pushing to get its one driver. Many vehicles model line seems to be working. All right, anyway, let's look at this. Monitor control 2 vehicles using 1 operator. There's our next job. I gotta pee. How long is this video? It's only 59 seconds. Talk about a boring driving game. Anyway, that's the future, people. Operation Sports. Pro Cycling Manager 2020 closed beta runs from April 13th to April 27th. Registration open now. Pro Cycling Manager. So if you're looking for a management type game, see, that kind of thing, you know, UI interface management type game, you can do it for cycling. They used to do one of these that would run with the Tour de France. I wonder if they're going to bust that out with the tour. I'm assuming the tour is not going to happen this year or be postponed. Go get my Simpit bucket, the puke bucket. I can just put it right underneath. No, I got a camera over my shoulder today. All right, Cycling Manager for you bored people sitting at home. You shut-ins. Tour about to be moved to September. Is that the plan? Forza Street arrives on May 5th for Android and iOS devices. So if you can't get enough Forza, you can play it on your phone as well. There you go. Construction Simulator 3 Console Edition releases on Xbox One and PS4. Construction Simulator. Where's the PC? Is it already out on PC? Is there no PC? I want to see you do some construction. I mean, I want some VR. I want some, like, be doing some bricklaying and plumbing and electrical. I mean, we're construction. I do shake my legs, but I'm not letting it dribble. I do shake my legs to control peeing. Water. Construction Sim 14, that sounds dated. What else? More from Racer. The Lockdown Diaries, the F1 debutante in waiting. This is the driver who just did really well in one of the Esport. Latifi? I don't know him. Do you guys know this guy? Anyway, I'm just showing you guys articles. I know you're at home. Another article, Lockdown Diaries, Sparko. Sparko talking about being hit by orders and down in production and expansion, things like that. 70% of the production is already done. That leaves 30% production for the rest of the year. It trickles in. But, yeah, anyway, a couple things. Go check out Racer. They have some good articles for you guys to check out. Man, it's already 10:10? Wow. Can't believe this show. Too much information. VR work. Haven't you played the Office Simulator in VR? That's funny as hell. Love that game. Mental VR, chasing women in bikinis can't catch. Like, they just run faster than you. Sparko needs to up their... Yeah, well, they're late to the game. I mean, Job Simulator. Eric Smith, thank you very much, Job Simulator. I love that game. Goodwood Road and Racing. Everybody, see, this is so cool, though. Every motorsport website, magazine, TV show, publication of any kind have had to fall back on sim racing. How to build the best sim racing rig for your budget. FOS Future Lab. So you've seen the motorsport world go a little crazy for sim racing in the past couple of weeks and want in on the action. That statement and sentence, and as I've been such a pessimist, I will say, I think I have unfairly given the Pro Esport Series a little bit of a hard time, being a little bit of a pessimist on the topic. And I think that, to be fair, Darren is here. Darren's in the audience. Darren, you can tell me your perspective on this. When Darren and I first did the first sim racing tonight, it was a tribute show, so to speak. But one of the catalysts, one of the reasons behind the beginning of that show way back when, was because it was actually aggravating to me, especially, that more people didn't know what we were doing. And I'm thinking, wow, these people who go to races, these people who love racing and cars, if they knew that they could do this at their home every single night, they would be doing it. And I was so aggravated that sim racing was this little tiny, tiny speck of the gaming industry, getting no love from pro motorsports, getting no love from gaming or motorsport. And we had these niche, independent little tiny companies doing our simulations, and it would take years between generations of sim. And a big part of starting that show is the aggravations of how much of it was just that if people only knew, if they just knew they could do this from home. So as I've given the esport world probably more grief than they deserve, to be fair, this line here summarizes the reality better than any words that I could have said it. So you've seen the motorsport world. So I just had said that Goodwood Racing, Autosport, Motorsport, Motor Trend, ESPN, MAV TV, every single motorsport publication of any kind has had to jump onto the sim racing train. So you've seen the motorsport world go a little crazy for sim racing in the past couple of weeks and want in on the action. That's why I do this. That is why I do this. So what do they go on to say? Beginner. You're just dipping your toe into sim racing. Let's see what kind of advice they're giving people. Just dipping into sim racing. You want to keep the budget modest. You can't go wrong with a G29 or G920. They said called it a G290. But it's a G920. Wheel and pedal set from Logitech. Currently available for €200. Sim racing train. Yeah, Brian, isn't that, it's so true. They have no clue. The main move improvement, T150, that's a good starting point as well. That's the FGT next level. Fanatic, intermediate level. I would say intermediate level would be just get a decent wheel on this. Jumping up to a club sport. I don't think of this as intermediate. because I don't know if it's fair to put the pressure on the world that direct drive and $10,000 setups is beyond the high end. To me, I think of this as more of the high end on the normal level. You know, if I'm giving advice to people, I'm going to be talking about the T300 TX wheels, getting a setup in your house. It's going to just be, you know, a couple hundred more than a G29 setup. Then he's going up into hussing belts. And anyway, it was an article. I like the headline more than the article itself, just to be honest with you. Exactly, Darren. That's exactly what I was saying. Racers in isolation. Nicky theme. Aston Martin's Nicky theme is next up in Sport Cars 365 Racer in Isolation series. So they're doing a little Q&A with Nicky theme over there at Sports Car 365. Yeah, Eric, and I think of the TSPC as being sort of like that intermediate, medium, high end, with high end being more of the club sport. Club sport is significantly more expensive than a TSPC racer setup. Yeah, you ever hear that guy in general? The guy's a maniac. Yeah, and I mean, for me, I don't know if I would go necessarily the route of the podium unless I already had a bunch of other gear. I think, you know, so, but that's me. I mean, there are a lot of people take opinions on wheels. SimCore OMP, just a little eye candy. Oh, we're to the end of the show, you guys. Sorry. SimRace hardware news and reviews. So all we can do is show you this picture, but I love eye candy. Looking for motivation and inspiration. I gotta find out where these companies buy. Actually, you know what? These are probably just fancy knobs on the same old encoder I have for my wheel. But yeah. All right, what else? Here we go. This one posted by Pazos. Oh, I didn't give you. How much is that wheel? Can we get a price? OMP Sim Racing Wheel. The OMP 310 GT revisited by SimCore. Australian made. So they're using the OMP blank or wheel rim. And that's all we get to know. That's why I almost don't want to show these articles. Simcore.com.au if you're interested. Joey Dallas, welcome to the team. Thank you very much. So, all right. A couple of rigs and then we'll bring the show to an end. Comes down to it. I mean, I would say that the Fanatic Club Sport has less flex than the CSW Elite. So yeah. Club Sport V3 pedals are awesome, Eric. You're going to love those pedals. I'm assuming that's an upgrade. If you're upgrading to those pedals, that's one of the best things, I mean, you can do if you don't have a load cell pedal. And of course, there are better pedals. But in the world of reasonable money, those are incredible. I've raced on a projector. It's nice. It has its pros and cons. You have to have a really good control of the lighting in the room to get the most out of a projector. Projectors are really great if you can put it in a really dark room. Yeah, DD, is it worth the investment? I don't think that DDs are worth the money bang for buck. No. My answer, my number one answer to that is no. DDs are not bang for buck worth the investment because the DD wheel is not going to improve your driving by the difference in money between like a TSPC, for example, and a DD wheel. The other thing that people need to really keep in mind when it comes to DD wheels is that for the most part, the base is sold separately from the wheel rim. So you get the base. Now what are you going to do with it? Most of them, yeah, I think pedals upgrade bang for the buck are a must. I mean, like if you don't have, if you've gotten into sim racing and you're on a TSPC, for example, I would highly suggest if I had a stock TSPC, the next thing I would do is either get the new LCM load cell pedal from Thrustmaster, which are like $200. You cannot beat them for $200. Now, they're not the best pedal set in the world, but the upgrade compared to the conical rubber resistor for a load cell, it's worth the money. Bang for buck. If you have more money, that $350, I feel the V3 Club Sport pedals are a significant update to the LCM pedals, but they are almost double the cost at the same time. So it's hard to make that justification, but both of them are a huge upgrade. Now, when I look at a direct drive wheel and I look at my lap times on a TSPC, which is maybe the least expensive high quality wheel that you can get. Like I have a TSXW. It's the same wheelbase essentially, but the TSPC is a stripped down version, so you can get it with like no pedals. It comes with the wheel rim that I don't even like that much, but it's the least expensive way to get into the TS bases from Thrustmaster, which the force feedback is very light compared to a direct drive. You can't even compare them on power, but if you're not into super strong force feedback, you don't necessarily need the power. I can be just as fast with the TSXW as I can any wheel you give me. I've had a Bodner. I've had and driven a SimuCube. I've driven on the podium. I drive on a SimXperience, which is probably my favorite of all of the direct drive wheels, and it's different than other direct drive wheels in that it's not a stepper or a servo motor. It's a hybrid of the two, and it makes a really, really great combination. But bang for the buck, it's really hard to beat a TSPC for the money. And that's why when people want to write articles steering people in a direction, I really don't want people to start thinking that you need to spend $2,000 on a wheelbase and another $1,000 or $2,000 on a wheel rim, and you still don't have pedals. And if you just spent $4,000 on a base and a wheel rim, are Club Sport pedals even good enough to match that? No aim. I think it's very marginally. I think at the V3, I think that you've achieved 99% of what you're trying to get out of upgrading your pedals. Like now, I run hydraulic pedals, and as much as I don't want to steer people in the direction of expensive, hydraulic is different than load cell, and I really, really dig it, and I really, really like the way they operate under my feet. And I do feel the brake pedal is the most important part on our entire sim. So with that said, that's where I might have to eat my words on bang for the buck, where all of a sudden it's like, you know what, I know it costs ridiculous amounts of money, but if you have the means, I highly recommend it. Yeah, the jumps are so big that it's almost impossible, but this is so true. Billy didn't like his hydraulics. He's faster with his V3s, which again, I would never take away from anybody's opinion. We all have our own, I call it our own expectations of what our sims should feel like based on what we feel a real car would feel like. So yeah, but the gaps, I mean, if you were to take our hobby, and I always use the parallels of golf or cycling, I can go to Costco or to Walmart and buy a set of Wilson clubs for $100, full set of clubs. And you know what? They're going to be 99% as good as some very, very high end. Maybe let's call it 85. Let's be more realistic. 85% as good as some very, very high end clubs. That extra 15%, is it worth the money? I don't know if it is. And in the hands of somebody with true talent, it wouldn't matter. I'm not. No, I'm not. Devin, I would never shit on your Wilsons. I would never. Wilsons are fine. And when I switch things over to bicycles, it's like I can go buy a $700 road bike from Trek, and it's going to be a fine bike, and it's going to do 85% of what one of those bikes that a guy on the tour can, that might cost $10,000. I could never justify the difference in money without a certain amount of need. Like you need to be able to see the difference, feel the difference. You need to be able to utilize those differences. And in the hands of amateurs, it's probably not being used. Well, Billy counts. I would never play on Wilsons, Joe. I would never play golf on a set of Wilsons. Like, it would have to be a bet or something. All right, can we move around? Can we move along? Yes, golf is very mental, and that standover view of the head at the ball is very important. I was part of the holdout when they started going to these giant oversized drivers. I got to a Callaway Big Bertha, and from there, I couldn't handle when they just kept getting bigger. It just made it really hard for me to feel comfortable standing over the ball. Bring it, Devin. And Dirkquist says expensive clubs also give you confidence, even if false. I think that's also true of my other parallels. The sim racing. I think a direct drive wheel might give you confidence, and it might be somewhat false. I think that in cycling, that $10,000 bike would do the same thing. It's going to give you a different level of confidence, but you might find on the first climb that it's false. We're almost to the end, Theodore. We're there. Anything. You just need a 7-iron. It's the only club you really need. When I used to golf a lot with my brother, we used to, yeah, now you know it's you. Exactly, Dirkquist. When I used to play with my brother, we used to play golf a lot. And when we were playing, no, I never liked golf games that much. I played a few. I mean, there was a game Lynx back in I don't know, 95 maybe. And it was so good graphically that it would take my computer. This was the first IBM PC. It would literally take my computer 5 minutes to draw each screen. But anyway, when we used to play golf all the time, I used to have a joke that, what's my distance? Name my distance. 7-iron. Because it was no matter what I hit, they were all going to hit the length of my 7-iron. It was the only distance I could hit a club. Hey, Shaun. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the show. We are running a little over. It's already 10:30, but we're just having a good time talking about generalized stuff. We really don't have much of an agenda even. We've completely lost track. The show is off the rails completely. Finally finished his rig. We didn't even look at the other one. I pulled it up and we didn't look. So this is posted here by. I do still need to pee, by the way. I'm still doing my pee-pee dance under the table. You guys can't see it. Not sure. Can you guys see it? You guys probably can over there on Twitch. I've been doing the Under the table pee-pee dance. Pazzo Sapiente just finished assembling his first real sim rig. Speaking of sim rigs, golf on the Atari 2600. Designed and built by him. Gotta love it. So there's somebody who bought his own profile. You'd mistake it for a P1, but it's in fact his own. Oh yeah, it's gonna be a big pee break when I'm done here. PP stream? No, we're not going to do a PP stream. All right, check this out. Two things I want you to look at here. Look at the rig, and then look at this landscape out the window. It's so perfect. It looks artificial. Wonder where this is. Anyway, finally finished his first rig with the next level FGT. I'm currently testing the FGT Lite. I think today is the day I'm going to put it in the formula position and see if we can get comfortable at all. Waterfall, waterfall. Sell pea water. Anyway, Russell 3823 posted this one. Nice looking setup. But yeah, look at that man-made lake with the docks, and yeah, kind of a cool looking place. It's okay. I like natural growth. I'm not looking for cheating growth. All right, and then on a polar contrast, check this out. Talk about crammed into a small space. Do you realize the monitors are up against the wall in front of him, and the back of the seat is on the wall behind him? That's a picture? Theodore, was it? Am I that stupid? No, that's not a picture on the wall. There are drapes. It does look fake, though. That's what I was kind of tripping. Don't go chasing waterfalls. Florida? It looks flat like Florida, doesn't it? The back of the seat was on the floor. Wait a minute. Did I miss something? What? What? You guys have completely lost me. Who's laying down? The gloves hanging? You guys, I don't know what you're talking about. You've lost me completely. This looks like the floor to me. See the trim? 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 See the trim? That's the floor. That's carpet or a different surface. 2-hour pit stops. Yeah. I just try to keep you guys entertained. Oh, is that the girl? It's the Thrustmaster window picture. What? I don't know what you guys are talking about. You're saying this is not real? Yeah, I quit. Oh, now that is a really good point. That is a very good point. So look at the reflection in the screen right here. That would be showing us this screen from the angle we're at. Shit, I didn't see that at all. Now I know what you're talking about. This sure looks like the window is covered, and this looks like somebody cropped. Joa, did you do this? Did you, Joa, did you do this? Oh, that's a trip. It's funny. This is funny. I'm also, yeah, I don't know. I don't know if we're ever going to get to the bottom of this. Are there any comments? I don't know. I can't tell. He photoshopped the image to cover the jail bars. Oh, I'm sorry, you guys. I'm so distracted by this. I'm like really want to get to the bottom of this. I really do. Push-ups? Did I swear? Edges of the rig look to be photoshopped? I don't know. Looks like Netherlands. But again, is it a promotional? Yeah. How are we gonna get to the bottom of this, you guys? Zero, get over it. That's how bored we are. That's how bored we are, all being stuck at home. Illuminati confirmed. Oh. Message the guy? Can you do that on Reddit? I don't have a Reddit account. I'm looking for an answer in there. I'm not finding it. All right, someone's gonna have to send them a message. Yep. All right, I'm putting it out there to you. If somebody can get us a legitimate answer of what's going on here, maybe if you can, you got to get Russell to give us another picture, a picture of proof. All right. If anybody here can get Russell to send them a picture of proof and the story behind this, I will send you a Simpit t-shirt. I mean it. One of the new t-shirts, not this one, the new t-shirt with the 2 stripes. I'm reading the chat. I see what you're saying about reflective windows, Devin. I want a second picture. So, anybody pulls it off, send me the picture and the story behind it from Russell3823 on Reddit with his sim rig and the weird reflections. Devin is convinced that it's just polarized windows. Others are convinced that the rig is photoshopped in. Theodore says the whole picture is fake. Anyway, sounds like fun. Go find out. Get us the scoop for Friday's show. So I believe that, we are going to finish off with this guy. The on the floor, on the roof. What were you guys accusing this one of? You guys are nuts. Polarized windows and or polarizing filter on the monitor. We'll find out. Somebody could get a t-shirt and we'll get the real story. Oh, I'm sorry, Steam. Are we boring you? We've put you to sleep? Bedtime for Steam? All right. No, the seat is not on the floor. The seat is on the floor. Yes, it is. Anyway, my big takeaway on this one is, number one, look at the modded G series wheel. That's pretty slick. Looks like a 3D printed one, by the way. Maybe. And then also, look at this tight quarters, though. That is the front wall. That is the back wall. Running in VR. Is he running in VR? No. Ooh, he's shifter on the left. Trains put you to sleep. Oh, all right. That's it. All right, I'm done. I'm done. We're over. We've had enough. I've had enough. You've had enough. We've lost our minds. Yeah, this is a total closet racer here. You need some ventilation. The window is in the roof. You guys are killing me. All right, we're done. I've had enough of you. You've had enough of me. We're going to bring this one to a close. Just remember, Friday's show will be at 5 o'clock. We're going to go from Friday show into doing some racing. We are working on the Oval Series. Now the only second thought is, well, it's in the works. I don't have an official announcement. Friday, 5 o'clock will be the next pit stop. I'm going to be working on the next level FGT light cockpit. I also need to work on the Quake Shaker review. I also need to work on our 3D printed wheel. So there's the three things going on behind the scenes. But that is going to do it for this one. You guys, thank you so much for all the fun. All the, can I get, like, your autograph? From who? Whose autograph you seeking? Anyway, thank you all for being here. Thank you for being part of the show. Like I've been saying for the last few shows, it's not really about the news. It's really about hanging out and talking sim racing. Really? I mean, that's what we're here for. Friends, send me an email. Shaun, SHAUN at thesimpit.com. And I'm sure we can make those arrangements. No problem. Anyway, that's going to do it for this one. Thank you for being part of the pit crew. And when I say that, I mean thank you for being part of the show and part of our community here at the Sim Pit that makes it fun for us to do the content. You guys give us the great feedback that we need to keep pushing forward. You guys are always there with my back, making the show entertaining, making it fun for me to be here, and I hope the same for you. But that's going to do it for this one. This is the Sim Pit. I'm Shaun Cole, and I'll see you on the track.
Thank you.